guys, my name is Andrea Harvey, also known as Windy City Peach. I am a lifestyle, travel, and gardening vlogger. I want to come to you today to talk about a Thanksgiving hack. And I know that if you're anything like me, you are in preparation mode, going to the grocery store, picking up the things you need. And one of the hardest things about cooking for Thanksgiving is balancing all of the things that you have to cook, especially if you're hosting. And today I am going to share with you one of my favorite cooking hacks, and that is cooking greens in the Instant Pot. So before I get into the recipe itself, I'm going to talk about the Instant Pot and why it is like my favorite. So what it is basically a glorified pressure cooker, but you can use it for so many things besides just pressure cooking. There's a saute function. There is a rice button function, which I absolutely love because if you're anything like me, you can cook everything but rice, which is crazy. And there's also a slow cook function. And the reason why I like the slow cook function is because it's basically like a slow cooker. So you don't necessarily have to use your crock pot. The Instant Pot is a wonderful kind of all-in-one. But the main button I want to show you guys about, which is the one we'll be using today, is the manual button. So the manual button is a button that you use to basically set the time and to use it for whatever it is that you're cooking for. There's also these buttons here, which we'll be using to set the time. And then of course at the top is the vent. So these buttons, which is venting, sealing, and then venting there. Whenever you are about to cook anything, you want to make sure that the button is turned this way. That's the sealing button. Of course, you want to plug up the Instant Pot, and so when you plug it in, you'll hear a beep and you'll know that it's on. Right now it's off, but it's plugged in. So next I will basically put everything in the Instant Pot. You're gonna see how simple and easy this recipe is. So first I put my turkey in the bottom of the Instant Pot. For me, I like to, even though the greens are going to come out of the bag, I like to go through them and pick out some of the stems and wash it myself. You'll find, you'll see that they have a lot of stems in there. Again, it's just up to your personal preference, but if I'm trying to go fast, sometimes I don't go through the trouble of getting the stems out, but if I have a little time, I will pick out the stems out of the green. I wish I could give you guys the measurements. I would say maybe half a teaspoon to a tablespoon of seasoning salt. Again, this is not meant to be super healthy, but I'm sure you can make it how you want. Now I'm adding the onion powder. I would say maybe that's half a teaspoon. And then the garlic powder, maybe about half a teaspoon. Next, I add in about, let's say a teaspoon of butter. I'll put it in there. And then I'm going to add my other bag of greens. I'll pack it down in here. You'll see that most of it will fit. And so check me out. 1 second. Okay, now you've seen me pack everything in the Instant Pot and everything is loaded in there. Next, you're going to press the manual button, and from there you'll see that some numbers are already set. For me, I always do it on 25 minutes. So you want to adjust the time to 25, and then you're going to press the manual button again. It will start to beep, and then you will know that it is on. And so I will check back in 25 minutes to show you guys the results. So I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys asked me while we're waiting for the Instant Pot to cook. So one of the questions was, the other question was, you know, how much can you cook? So again, for me, that was 2 regular bags of greens. I have had to cook for a lot of people, and when I have to cook at a volume, what I do is I do the recipe, but I don't keep adding salt, so or any of the seasoning. So what I will do is do it regular, just like I showed you guys, put everything in there. It'll cook 25 minutes later, and then I'll cook the rest. So I'll take out the cooked greens and put in the new greens, and so the juices and the flavoring is already in there, so you don't have to keep seasoning and doing all of those things. I have cooked so many things in my Instant Pot, and I get a lot of my recipes off Pinterest. So but I've had to modify them to my liking. So this green recipe is something that myself and my best friend actually came up with. I was at her house and we were literally just playing around with the Instant Pot a couple Thanksgivings ago, and we were able to figure out this recipe. And so we've had to perfect it and add different liquids, you know, more or less, but we figured it out. And I promise you guys, it's something that anybody can do, whether you can cook or not. Like, it's basically follow these directions and you'll be just fine. It's so hard to do with one hand, so thank you all for your patience. It's so hot. The steam is fogging up the camera. But it's just because I have to eat my own stuff. Let's see. Y'all, these greens are so good. The texture, just like greens, just like they've been cooking all day. They're delicious. So, for anyone that might be wondering, you know, what happens if I put too much salt in them? What happens if I do this? Add water. Water will balance out your salt. But these are perfectly seasoned. I actually would caution you about over salting. I always would rather under salt and then season on the back end. But this was 25 minutes. Well, basically 30 minutes later. It tastes like they've been cooking all day. And the reason why I love this is because now, whenever there's a potluck, you can sign up for collard greens and people will really think that you did something, but you didn't do but 30 minutes worth of work. It's a win-win. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you are following my page, keeping track. I will continue to bring you content like this and different things that can make your life easier, because that's what it's about. It's about making our lives easier. And I am team make your life easier because I'm team make my life easier. Enjoy your greens. Happy Thanksgiving.